Manchester United have finally had an uptick in form in the past couple of games, but what still needs addressing is their midfield and how Erik Ten Hag is choosing to use it. So we're here to break down 3 key areas in which Manchester United's midfield have struggled so far this season and how Sofyan Amrabat could be the one to fix it. The first area that needs addressing is Manchester United's use of their deeper midfielders in possession. So far this season, Manchester United have struggled to play through the pitch centrally, with Casemiro being used in much more of an advanced position, with the second midfielder often dropping deeper to receive the ball. This means that their build-up play can often become quite stagnant, leaving players standing on the ball for far too long, too much separation between the midfielders, and eventually forcing the ball in behind and going long to Rasmus Højlund and Marcus Rashford. But this is not a sustainable tactic for a top-end Premier League team. Ideally, in possession, Manchester United want to play directly through the midfielders. So who can solve this issue? Well, this is where we introduce Sofyan Amrabat. Last season, Amrabat's former club Fiorentina finished second in the Serie A for average possession, as they look to use a 4-3-3 formation with Amrabat as the deepest midfielder. In this position, he placed almost 1,400 passes, significantly more than his now Manchester United teammates Casemiro and Christian Eriksen, despite actually playing fewer minutes than the pair. Erik Ten Hag clearly wants a player who is comfortable at receiving in these areas with their back to goal, setting the tempo and ultimately controlling the game for their team. And this is exactly what a player like Sofyan Amrabat offers. He's very comfortable at conducting the play directly in front of the centre-halves in possession. And you get a good sense of what Amrabat is looking to do in possession directly from his pass map against West Ham in the Europa Conference League final. But going off this pass map, is Amrabat purely a sidewards and backwards passer then? No, in fact he's quite an effective forward passer, and this is shown off quite well through his numbers. Over the past year, Amrabat has averaged 7.2 progressive passes per 90 minutes. Only Christian Eriksen out of Manchester United's midfield options actually averages more per game than him. And this leads us on into our second midfield problem for Manchester United, and it's how they're functioning off the ball. So can Amrabat improve this also? The short answer is yes, he definitely can. Sofyan Amrabat is a phenomenal defender. He has a staggering 58% of dribblers tackled per 90 minutes in the past year, which outshines every single one of his Manchester United teammates in midfield. He also comes out on top when comparing his ground duel success rate to the same Manchester United midfielders. What we're looking at right here is a top-end ball winner, and this is further highlighted in the crucial role that he played for Morocco in their unlikely run into the World Cup semi-finals last year. He played as a single pivot midfielder in a 4-1-4-1 mid-block, and he gained many plaudits for his defensive qualities shown throughout that tournament. The third and final area to look at is, even though Erik Ten Hag's tactical instructions is to focus on man marking and higher pressing in the midfield, Manchester United have been bypassed on multiple occasions throughout the league season in the midfield. At frantic points in the games, the midfielders are making long sprints to press and get back into position quickly. So when opposition teams look to counter-attack Manchester United, they're finding it quite easy to find their attackers in and around the penalty area waiting for the cutback. And this pattern has emerged in almost every single one of Manchester United's games so far this season. But Amrabat is used to this front-footed pressing style, and he did it quite a lot for Fiorentina. He's a very tenacious, very strong ball winner. He uses his body really well in duels, especially when going shoulder to shoulder. He has a feel for the dark arts, and he's a master at breaking up play. So once again, he will drastically improve Manchester United in this department too. So if Amrabat is as good as we're making him out to be, will he start every single game for Manchester United? Quite possibly. There's a lot of versatility within this signing. He can play in the double pivot with Casemiro, he can play as the lone defensive midfielder supporting him behind the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount. He can play further up in the midfield ahead of Casemiro, and he's already been used as an inverted left back in his first start for the club against Crystal Palace. So do you think Sofyan Amrabat could prove to be a great shrewd piece of business from Manchester United, or do you think they will continue to be exploited in these midfield areas?